ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Girvan Arts Festival Scratch Night. This started about 4 months ago, maybe even longer, when Douglas Maxwell, the playwright who comes from Girvan, emailed me and he said, "Oh, I've just been to a degree show and there's a lad, he's 40, same age as my kids. I call him a lad from Girvan who's one of his wee plays was in the degree show, and he's from Girvan and he'd love to bring some drama, some theatre to Girvan." And Douglas thought it'd be best contact us because we were actually thinking of doing that anyway. So I met up with Frazer, and Frazer's had bits and pieces in his life, done quite a lot of things in his life, and he's had a few sort of setbacks, but he's found this passion for drama, and we've been absolutely impressed with him. He's gone through a major trauma in his life, and he's still done this while he's doing it. So it's an absolute fantastic guy. So I'm not going to talk too much other than to say, if there's a fire, you go out the back door, straight out the doors you came in, and run. Secondly, if you can't hear, everyone's sitting up the back. If you can't hear, just can move further forward if you can, or shout out, okay? But apart from that, I'm going to introduce Frazer now, so I can find him. Frazer Kirkland.
Hey, Zane, Well, I did have a bit of written down, but Alan said half it anyway. Except stuff about myself, obviously. I wouldn't have said all that kind of stuff. So, thank you all for coming out tonight. It's very windy, cold, and you've braved the weather, so thank you very much. So, the night we're going to have, I'll tell you the structure first. We're going to have 3 plays, and then we'll have an interval, and then we'll have a further 2 plays after that. The first 3 plays are written by local writers and a writer from Glasgow. So as well as our actors as well, they're also from Ayrshire in Glasgow also. So try, if going forward, just try to make everything very local and stuff like that as well, and make the connection from, there's a big bustling scene in Glasgow right now with scratch nights and theatre and stuff, so try to make that tie to both of them, and bringing plays maybe from there to here, and likewise from here to there. So the first 3 plays, then the interval, and then the last 2 plays will be written by Douglas Maxwell, who Alan has already spoke about. I do have here, Alan, any words, but you've already said them. So we'll go ahead with the first play. It is 20 feet by 20 feet, and it's written by Julie Calderwood. A wee bit about it, and what we're about to see. Leslie has saved hard for this trip. Finally, they have a chance to show off a slice of the real world. Alex wishes they were anywhere else. In a last ditch play for connection, Leslie pulls out all the stops. Will they break through or crash out? So the actors for this tonight are Una McDade and Emma Harkness. Okay, just going to really say thank you.
Don't go down there.
Fish or sausage?
I've already cleared it.
Alex,
I found one.
what? Your supper? Do you want fish or sausage?
Is there a difference? Jump, catch it! Oh,
Philistine. You want salt or sauce?
pin it down. Will it make it edible? Stamp on it, you have to rip its head off, otherwise the credits won't pour out. Oh, what the?
I've shut it down.
That wouldn't have saved.
It's just 20 minutes. Less than an episode of Thundercats. I think we can manage that, eh?
I was just about to reach level 468.
Is that right?
We'd commandeered the ships to Alexandria, burned down the library, marched for hours to the Valley of Pharaohs, raided all the tombs in Egypt, broke into the Great Pyramid and climbed to the chambers of, well, I don't know. You cut me off.
Ah, you've been busy right enough. Look, I'm away down here, and since they placed you up in training, I've not seen you properly, seen you for months. I only get enough credits for this wee window. How about we take a minute to breathe in the sea air and just be?
Be?
Aye. You know, exist next to each other.
You know, it's not actually the sea, don't you?
Do you think I'll button up the back? Breathe it in anyway. It's as close to the real thing as I can remember.
Smells like salted fecal matter.
How do you know about fecal matter? I'm the one knee deep in it down here. This definitely doesn't smell like the shit that's been pumped out of this place. It smells like waste.
Did you manage to get some medication?
Of course. Traded in some of my old tools.
There goes my inheritance.
They're as useful to you as a sunscreen in a blizzard.
Cannot relate. I'm glad they've hooked you up. It's freezing.
Don't worry, I'll sort this out. What do you think?
Yeah, they're...
Something's not right. I'm not sure whether it's the vinegar or the texture. You genuinely like them?
I was being polite. There's too much salt and they're soggy and I can actively feel the vinegar giving me an ulcer.
Ah, in other words, they're spot on. Well, there's more than that in my wee bag of tricks. Here.
What on earth is that?
Oh, beach towels.
Beach towels?
Beach towels. For the beach. You can't get down the water without your beach towel. It does everything. You wrap your flask in it, scrape off the wet sand for your feet, wrap it around you to get changed. I mean, I suppose you could lie in it, but there's no much call for that here. The beach is all rocks, and the clouds are as thick as my maw's porridge. You can even use it as a blanket.
Cheers. How long do we have left? I've got training at noon.
Never mind that. Fair enough. It's not exactly the pyramids, but they things have you battling mummies and swimming in gold. This is gritty, it's real, but after a fashion. I'm sorry, Mrs. Alwasher.
It's fine.
When I was wee, I was always so excited to come down. Here, a lot of us would pile in the train and then cram ourselves into Anna's single room. 2 nights sleeping in the flare with 7 other cousins. We thought we were on a grand adventure. This was her favourite bench. Every year for 13 years, same place.
Magic.
It's no much, but look at the view. Dramatic skies, dark turbulent seas, you could sail all the way to the Americas.
Was it warmer there?
I think so. I never got to go. Oh, you're still cold. Here, I've got something that'll warm my cockles.
What is it?
Tomato soup. Water down.
Water down.
You're, I don't know what kind of alchemy your my nana did with this stuff, but scalding a hot soup for a flask was just the business. You could feel it burning down your throat. Once it had seared the inside of your stomach, it was like a hug for the inside though. You know, the wind is blasting just right, so you don't have to worry about the first sip. How does it taste?
Metallic.
Just like I remember. Now, be careful, the next sip could get you in the infirmary. It's usually hotter than the devil's oyster.
Oyster?
Oyster? You know, you're in it.
Delicious.
What you need today is kind of soak it through your teeth and hope that the air that you're bringing in, you know, will make it bearable.
Couldn't we just wait for the next layer to cool?
What good would that do? How's it going to heat you up if it's cold going in? Right, let's give it a wee try. Oh, great, isn't it?
Mmm.
Oh, this is rotten. It's freezing, it's grey, we're wearing towels as blankets and the food's pitched.
It's not that bad. At least after the first sip. Tomatoes are reserved for the captains up here.
It used to be my favourite.
Why here?
It's the only place I remember clearly.
You didn't go anywhere else?
Thought I had all the time in the world. I got to 15 and told my parents that I didn't want to go away with them. I'd rather have the house to myself. Get after school, started my apprenticeship, and had to save for 5 years straight to just afford a tiny wee place. By the time I got all my ducks in a row, it was too late. How did I know the world was going to go to shit? Excuse my language.
It's merited.
No, it's an understatement. That's what it is. Alex, don't go.
We still have another 10 minutes.
You know fine well what I'm talking about. Let the other grounds get pulled into this nonsense, no you.
We touch base once a month. You have no idea what's me and what's not. I thought we were here for quality time.
We are. You know what? This doesn't do it justice. I'm sure there was a park just up there and a fairground at the end of the beach.
Let's go find them.
It's not like that, kiddo. All we have is 20 feet by 20 feet.
What's new? 20 feet by 20 feet, and you picked this bench.
The device can only take you to your clearest memories and then it recreates them. This is my clearest memory. I wish I remember coming here when the sun was out.
Why is this your clearest memory?
This was the last place I saw her.
Nana.
Every year she got all the weans together, rolled her trouser legs up past her knees, tucked her skirt into her tights and took us down for a paddle. What we're doing was like playing bulldog with the wind. Us all holding horns and Nana keeping us rooted to the song. We were all laughing so loud that the gale carried it away before anybody else could hear. Stepping into the sea was like an out-of-body experience. As soon as the icy water grabbed your ankles, you were all trying to climb up into your arms. There were too many of us, but somehow we knew that she would have held us all. If she could. If I could bottle happiness, that would be it.
Sounds idyllic.
You never realise what you have. The year I turned 13, I didn't want to go down the water. I moaned all the way there in the train and rolled my eyes at the thought of sharing a sleeping bag with my wee sister. By the time we got to the bench, I was just a wee bowl of resentment. I told her that this was the worst place in the world. It was cold, the food was crap. Stormed off and I spent the rest of the time in a huff, carrying about this pit that had grown in my stomach. I wish I'd known it was the last time I was going to see her.
No one knows what's ahead of them.
She knew more than most. At that age, I thought time was as endless as that ocean. I thought everything was always going to be the same. Oh, Anja.
You weren't to know.
Everybody knew. I'm sorry. We all knew and we did nothing about it. We just turned our backs and buried our heads in the sand and too busy to trying to keep ourselves afloat. We're worried about the end of the month and then granted.
You can't miss what you've never had.
You have 60 seconds left.
Listen, I'll be able to send you some credits in a few weeks and we can come back here when I get back.
That sounds good.
Can you maybe remember some sunshine?
No can do.
I wish back then you'd have time to grab a picture of her.
Me too. She's in here though. In here.
You have 0 credits. Please top up to continue your Keep It Real experience.
See you soon.
I'll be here.
Oh, by the way, what's that thunder cat?
We definitely don't have time for that.
Next time.
Next time.
I find that with walking sticks a wee bit hard, sorry. Just to clarify as well, I've got this walking stick. I had an amputation in August and I wasn't sure if this was going to go ahead, so ideally I'd like to have been out the front as well watching with you, but just to make things easier, I'm kind of tired going up and down the stairs, so I'm sitting back and coming out and forward for each play. And also just to clarify, I'm sure I heard Alan saying that I was like 43 or something. No, I'm not. I am 38.
Ballpark.
So, just to clarify that, in case somebody said anything, at least I looks a young 40. No, thank you very much. So, I hope you enjoyed that play there. That was 20 feet by 20 feet by Julie. So next up we have, can we round of applause to actually next up we have Plumes and Raspberry Creams, written by Isabella Baronello. This play is about Sharon. She is a mature woman who's lived in a sheltered life. Through her reminiscing, we see her growth process. She's forced to work by her husband, who believes that she's a drain on his finances, forcing her from her comfort zone to a workforce where she actually needs to talk to people. She finds a job giving out food samples with a 0-hour contract. She's under the illusion that she will fly through the ranks and become successful in the hope of impressing her husband. Sharon had never dreamed that she would connect with outlandish workmates, Bus Pass, and her sidekick, Kirsty, as they become united in a common goal. The canteen is their sanctuary where they share their lives with no holds barred. And the actor for this one is McDade. Thank you very much.
I have finished my list. I've hoovered and I've washed the floor. I've emptied the dishwasher, put on the washing, started tonight's dinner and ordered my online click and collect shopping. It's just past 8:30 AM. Not sure what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. I know you might be thinking, why not take my time over the chores? Why do I stick to a list? My husband is the list writer. He says he was keeping me from moving around with no purpose, and says I am like the chaos theory. And he should know because he knows about these things. That was also the reason he gave me when he suggested that I get a job, to give me a purpose in life. That's how I found myself with that 0-hour contract at Matthews and Simpson, trying to find my purpose, giving out samples. Was that really my purpose? Having a 0-hour contract is like having a child. You are expected to change the nappies and stay up all night, but don't actually get to see the smiles or the first steps. Anyway, And that's how I met the girls. The other 0 hours contract girls. People with permanent contracts don't give a toss about the 0 contract girls. Well, not all of them. Especially not Mrs. Drummer, Bongo, as Bus Pass would call her. She had the most annoying and vulgar phrase that she would use to rally the troops being wee girls. Every morning, just before we were unleashed on the general public, she would say, "Teeth, tits and theatre, ladies, teeth, tits and theatre." Bus Pass. Now there is a character. I won't tell you how she got her name just now. Maybe later. Then there is Kirsty, who's 21. She's got a genuinely nice young man in a new flat. She now considers herself to be upwardly mobile. The canteen is where we would put the world to rights, and we swap secrets and diet tips, and for me the theories, and were only ever theories. Diets were hard to keep anyway when you were dishing out food samples all day. So it's March, and my career as a food demonstrator began a few months earlier. Today's samples are hot cross buns with butter. I went through my list. All done. I googled chaos theory. The way I am reading it is that my husband thinks I am completely random. But I do get there in the end, due to underlying patterns. So what is wrong with that? Or maybe he just thinks I'm random. I only let him come back home because he had nowhere to go during COVID. Somehow he stayed. His mistress, Cassandra Pinkerton Smythe, could not stand the thought of being with him. My random act of kindness has caused chaos. It took me months of therapy to work out he was a very mean man. The thing about therapy is that sometimes you take on self-soothing ideas, and sometimes the chaos of your mind, actual chaos, is not the theoretical kind, can talk you into and out of anything. Perhaps you never really heal. And it would take more self-control than I have to prioritise me. My desire to fit in at home did not extend to the need to fit in at work. I wanted to climb the ladder of my food demonstration career. I would follow the rules. My hat was straight, my hairnet completely covering my hair, nails clean, and the script for that day's tasting memorised in case someone would ask, "Does your Madagascan vanilla essence actually come from Madagascar?" Or, "Sicilian lemons, I bet they come from a warehouse in Basingstoke." I was prepared. I had to succeed. I had to stay employed. We talked about my therapy in the canteen, the girls and I. There was not much we wouldn't talk about. I had only just opened a packet of cheese and onion crisps when Kirsty asked, "How were you getting on with your therapist?" I then informed her that I did not think my problems were canteen conversation material. I proceeded to tell her anyway. The canteen had that kind of effect. A place to tell all, with no judgment. I have told these girls more about my personal life than I did my therapist. My therapist is to me a smug creature. It would be better suited to selling mass-produced burgers with a side order of contempt. I remember my therapist looking up briefly. "How does it feel to be abandoned by your husband for a younger woman?" I want to say, it feels like I have two invisible pieces of string tied to my insides, one attached to my heart and the other to my stomach. Life is pulling on these strings with all the skill of a soul-destroying serpent with no anaesthetic to numb the pain. The therapist is searching my face for answers. I I suddenly become aware of her presence. I gather myself and respond with, oh, you know, getting there. Kirsty, whose mind often wanders, interrupts me in the middle of my sharing. Would you like to know how Bus Pass got her name? No, I would not. My mother wouldn't let me shorten names, never mind use a nickname. Apparently, if you tap your shoulders, it takes away those feelings away and helps you cope. I tell the girls, and the Bus Pass in her usual deadpan way declares, personally, I don't think there's much point in having depression if you can't get the drugs. This tapping your shoulder to calm down will just result in finger strain. Kirsty and I look at each other and start to laugh. Bus Pass just keeps saying, what? What are you laughing at? Well, that was me told. Said it again. That word. Well. According to my husband, well is a word that uneducated people use to fill the void of a low vocabulary to construct a sentence which rarely gets to the point. That is what he said. That is what he said when I was telling him that his abandonment had sent me to therapy. That's what he said, and he should know because he knows about these things. Drift off, thinking to myself, I wonder what Mum would have made of this. A world full of nicknames and shortened versions of names. Sandra. Still a lovely name, short to Cassie. Maybe that's why Mum called me Sharon. Hard to shorten. Lola keeps trying to call me Sha. Kirsty would always call Bus Pass, well, Bus Pass, but her real name is Lola. Mrs. Drummer had introduced her to me as Miss McQuiggan. It was in the canteen that I found out that her name was Lola. I was doing my crossword when Lola walked in wearing her earphones and shrieking some kind of tune. She was late as usual, and Kirsty had already set up the display for the day. Kirsty looked at me and rolled her eyes. What rubbish are you listening to? Is it that rap crap? The last one I heard went like this. A Scrooge, a mother, but I wish I was a brother and a clean. I think that went up for Sharon. Once again, my sensibilities were shot. I can hide my disapproval now. For your information, it's Barry Manilow. Lola retorts. Kirsty screws up her nose. Barry Manilow! Sounds like a used car salesman. Bus Pass looked offended. No, he's real. My ma used to sing it to me when I was wee, that's why I'm called Lola. Her name is Lola. She is a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair. And a dress right down to there. Have you heard it? Oh, you'll have heard it, Sha. She did it again, she called me Sha. Do you know it, Sha? Well, yes, I have heard of it. It played at our funeral, so we did. I realised that no one in our canteen was just tits, teeth, theatre. My annoyed expression dissolves. At the end of our evening, Lola loaded up her bag with hot cross buns that she had written off as waste produce. Buns that would have gone in the bin. For once, I did not feel the need to scold her. I mean, heaven forbid an employee getting a packet of buns that would have ended up in landfill. Lola bid us goodbye and then bought butter jam and cola. She walks past Bongo and a security guard and my heart pounds. I close my eyes when she reaches the door. I open them and all I can see are the swinging doors at the exit. So it's May, which means soft drinks and new potatoes. I have looked at the list. Oh yes, I still have the list, even though I'm working. The fear of losing my job has loomed over me since day one. One day, Mrs. Drummer took me aside and said, Matthews and Simpson have been established since 1884. She stood there nodding her head, puckering her lips, arms folded like she was one of the founding members. We pride ourselves in knowing who would fit in and who would not. You know, Sharon, you have got the potential to get a full-time contract. Oh, really? A permanent contract would mean the world to me, and I'll listen to what she has to say. Yes, she informed me. And all I needed to do was go witness for her against bus pass when she came in for her verbal warning at 10:30 a.m. What do you say, Sharon? I had a moment of madness, and just for the devilment, which is really not like me, I reply, it's Saran. What? My name is Saran, like the comedy star Saran Jones. But I have you down as Sharon. It's Saran, I say, not dropping my stare. She is in an obvious state of confusion as she prides herself in knowing everything about the team. She pipes up, if your name is Saran, why is it spelled Sharon? As she pushes her triumph-sized spectacles up her bony nose. I do not know where this came from, as I am not known for thinking on my feet. Siobhan is pronounced Cheval, and Greta is pronounced Gronya, and Sharon is pronounced Saran. Mrs. Drummer looks puzzled now. Are you Irish? And I blankly reply, no. By now, I can see that she is unwilling to continue this discussion. She forces a pen into her top pocket and explains, well. Well is a word that uneducated people use to fill the void of a low vocabulary to construct a sentence which rarely gets to the point. Cruelty is contagious. I wonder if Cassandra Pinkerton Smythe ever thinks of it. Why couldn't I have had a hyphenated name? I would have liked that. Nothing seems to fit this thing. He doesn't like me working now. He claims I am becoming common. It was because of him I had to get the job in the first place. On the account of me being a leech and sucking him dry. Apparently I still move around with no purpose, and my attention to his list is slipping. Of course, I do realise he is a piece of work. July. It's Eton mess. But they say people love it, but they say it's too hard to make. The list is lying on the table, neatly folded into quarters. It's a lovely day, and a nice coffee will go down well. I pop on the kettle, and just out of the corner of my eye, I catch a glimpse of my neighbour from my kitchen window. I haven't really spoken to her since lockdown. I suspect it's the fact that I took him back. She has lost respect for me. Who can blame it? It began when I was throwing him out, and I was getting rid of all this stuff. That was my period of clarity, before he muddied the waters again. Just before my mother died. Before COVID. Before the monkey on my back came arrogantly home, bringing chaos into my random life. This is the thing that gets me. This man is anal and meticulous in everything he does, except when it comes to drinking. On my way to work, I realised that I hadn't told the girls this story. It won't be long before I can regale them with the story of the girl next door. I tell them the backstory to begin with. When I opened the kitchen cupboard, there were about 10 or so different types of rum at various degrees of emptiness. I gathered them up, popped them outside at the back door. A few minutes later, when I heard the quietest of knocks on my door, and there she stood. The girl with what bus pass like to call toothpaste legs. I wasn't sure what she meant, but she told me it was because she looked like she squeezed herself into them. I'm a bit naive in colloquialisms. I'm a bit naive in general. Naivety in a grown woman is a disaster waiting to happen. Mrs. Muir, are you doing anything with these bottles? Before I knew it, she was in the house. As always, there were a barrage of questions. I told them how the girl knew all about the bottles, where they were all produced and what year. Kirsty looked puzzled, as she often does. But Bus Pass looked equally confused. Does she collect bottles? No. Bus Pass joins in. Is she a barmaid? No, I said, she's an alcoholic. Like me, she had had some therapy, and her therapist suggested that she got to know her enemy by way of a coping mechanism. So instead of coping, she's become fixated. That's what you get if you're someone with an addictive nature. If you give someone with an addictive nature a stupid task, my husband said, and finished with, I know about these things. He might have a point. This was the same day that Kirsty got her invite to the neighbours to bring a dish dinner party. There's never a dull moment in our canteen. I remember she was so perplexed because she can't cook. She decided that she would be honest and tell her neighbours that she couldn't cook, to which they replied, "That's okay, you can bring the crudités." Poor Kirsty was still worried, and Bus Pass asked her, "Why are you still worried?" "I have to bring the crudités and I don't know any rude jokes." It's at times like these that I think about my mum. Would she have wanted me to grab a permanent contract? I don't think she would, but if I don't, I'm going to end up with a sour plume moment. A hard to swallow turn of events that leaves a bitter taste in the mouth. The girls think I'm a Debbie Down, but I'm not. I just want the chance to have a raspberry cream moment. A high on life moment that leaves you elated. Mum said that when you have a sour plume moment, put it in a box, put it in a cupboard, lock it, and throw away the key. That explains a lot. She told me this when I experienced sadness over a friend who'd stolen my skipping ropes. I saw them tucked away in her bag, covered with a cardigan. When I married my husband, that was for me a raspberry cream moment that turned out to be a sour plume moment. When Mum, when she died, there was no box big enough to put that huge sour plume moment in. The sour plume cupboard was open now and I couldn't close it. My grief followed me round. Cue one unfaithful husband with his ability to see an opportunity. He arrived with a suitcase in hand along with the other virus called COVID, and it was fait accompli. He had caught me at my weakest moment, and I now realise that this is why I had let him back, and now he is somehow in control. The man who was keen for me to get a job, so that my home would be empty during the day, so that he could entertain his mistress. I didn't know it then, but I had missed some vital clues. Clues that would become apparent further down the line. Last one. Even me just swearing in my head, I consider progress. October, and it's a dozen ways to use a pumpkin and a sausage roll tasting from a sponsor. I am up early again. The list is lying on the table. Pick it up and put it in my pocket. Mrs. Drummer never joined us on our canteen keepers. She would start her day with the mantra, "Teeth, tits and theatre today, ladies." Bus Pass said it was sexist, and if a bloke said that, he would be hauled up in front of management. At least, she would have said it if she had been there. Where is Lola? You haven't heard? She's been fired for stealing. She did her usual trick of signing it off as wasted stock. I wonder. Oh, the old me is still hanging on with a comment like that. She didn't do it for herself, Sharon. She gave everything she took to the homeless guy outside. If it wasn't for her, he would have pegged it long ago. This particular day, Bongo ignored Kirsty, who was standing beside me, and turned her attention to me. Teeth, tits and theatre today, Sharon, with the emphasis on Sharon. I explain, Mrs. Drummer, there is only a certain amount of drama you can create around a sausage roll. I get a withering look. I can see she has not quite forgiven me for the Sharon-Saran debate. By this time in my working life, I have become more like Kirsty in bus pass than Bongo. Mrs. Drummond, I mean. All previous ambitions are now abandoned. I am standing in my counter, placing out cheese and pumpkin soup samples with Kirsty. I keep hearing little tinkling noises, and it's driving me nuts as to where it comes from. I miss them. Kirsty looks up from her paperwork. Do you want to know why she's called Bus Pass? Do you think you're mature enough now? Yes. Well, she gets the number 38 home. She leaves Newton Mearns and it takes her all the way home to Easter House. That's it. No. On the way, she gets on Facebook and tells everyone she is on the bus. So she's keeping safe. She is signalling to her many boyfriends that she is on her way home and ready for a little, you know. No, I don't know. But I am beginning to wonder what on earth she's talking about. Sex, Sharon, sex! Well, what? No. Really? Kirsty slaps sharp paperwork. She usually gets a few messages, but in the interest of fairness, she takes the first one to message. Then she pops off and she can catch the next bus home. They're every half hour and she never misses the next bus. I mean, let's face it, she probably has 20 minutes to wait for the next bus. There is a silence between us. Kirsty is staring at me and I am staring at her. Instead of feeling disgusted, I begin to laugh and all Kirsty can say is, "You are a weird one." Kirsty gives me a nudge. I look up and a sea of people apart to allow the force that is Bus Pass to walk through. She's dressed in a showgirl outfit complete with tassels and feather hairdress. A jaw falls open. She climbs onto the counter and kicks off the samples. "Roll up," she says. "Get down quick before Mrs. Drummer sees you, please, Bus Pass. I need this job. I don't need to be dealt any more sour plumes in my life." She looked like a big, beautiful Christmas tree, and in what seemed like slow motion, she bends down, beams a radiant smile, and offers me her satin-gloved hand. My heart fills with love and admiration. What if this is not a sour plume moment, Shan? What if losing this job is a raspberry cream moment? The raspberry creams that you have always wanted. Oh, she was spectacular. Her jewels glistened in the shop lights. I look at my uniform and dull and matron-like. I take off my hat and remove my hairnet and rip out my bauble. Kirsty looks at me and ruffles my hair. And with an obvious affection and pride, she says, "You go, girl." I thought that's an Americanism, but I let it go. I jumped up onto the counter, followed by Kirsty, who ripped open her shirt and began twirling her boobs, which were adorned with bells. The tinkling sound that I heard all morning explained. A customer looked up at all three statues, symbols of three women who had had enough, and asks, "Will you be putting out more samples?" It's December. The Christmas music will have been playing for weeks on the shop floor, and it's the turn of the mulled wine and mince pies to be doled out. The only thing is, none of us have a job anymore. Tonight, The girls and I are going to make our own mulled wine and eat our own mince pies bought from bargain buys at not Matthews and Simpsons. Bus pass asked if she could bring vodka because she only drank that crap because she had to. The list is on the table. He's nothing if not persistent. It was the list that gave him away. When he first had his affair with Cassandra Pinkerton Smythe, it showed in his list. He made mistakes. For example, instead of saying Monday, do the big shop, it would be Wednesday, do the big shop. I thought it was weird, but I just stuck to the well-rehearsed list for fear of bringing the whole system to its knees. He would also finish most of his sentences with a little love heart. I thought they were for me. I felt like the very last idiot in the village. I checked the list. There it was. Pick up my magazine from the newsagent on Tuesday. His magazine didn't come out until Friday. There, at the end of the sentence, a love heart instead of a full stop. Cassandra Pinkerton Smythe was back on the scene. I began humming to myself and singing. She wants a sugar. It's not a residue of lockdown that I have been oversensitive, as he suggested, and I just haven't got over it yet. I'm not sure if he meant getting over lockdown or being oversensitive. Why did I let him get his feet firmly under the table? When bus pass, Kirsty and I were pulled off the counter at Matthew and Simpson. I could not hear Bongo screaming. I knew she was screaming because I could see her teeth flashing as she snarled at her wayward team. A security guard took off his jacket, gave a little wink, covered up Kirsty. The shop floor was in an uproar, and bus pass took my hand and Kirsty grabbed the other one. People cheered and laughed, and some tutted, and permanent contract staff looked dazed but approving. With yellow feathers in her hair and a dress right down to there. All my reminiscing tells me that I have carried my baggage on my back for a long time. We were put straight into a police van and taken to the station, where the charge officer asked bus pass. Name? Lola. Occupation? Showgirl. Place of work? Copacabana. Are you taking the bus? I interrupt. The hottest spot north of Havana. The girls look at me. Sharon? I might take up swearing. I heard it's a great stress reliever. My husband had his own form of stress relief. A wanker. Yes, I am revising my forms of expression. I think I might have late onset Tourette's. Pick up the list. I can sense he's standing behind me. I turn and brush past him as he has no intention of moving. I ran up the stairs and I packed his bags and I put the list inside it. He came upstairs, sensing that I mean business. He changes his tactics. He looks into my eyes and softens his expression. Let's start again. I'm sorry, I am a fool. You are a fool. You can do the merengue and go cha-cha. You are mental, you're a crazy bitch. Yes, I am. Fuckity fuck off the charts, crazy as hell. Sharon. My name is Sharon. I ran down the stairs, opened the door and threw out his suitcase. I narrowly missed bus pass and Kirsty, who were making their way up the driveway. A glass of wine, girls. Menopausal she is. She is bat crazy. I blame you two. For menopause? Snipes bus pass. Then she looks at me. You look, well, amazing, Sha. Thank you. I think it's because I am mental. He has just diagnosed me, and given that he knows about these things, I can only assume he is.
That's Sir Plumes and Raspberry Creams. Another round of applause, please, for. Up next, we have The Hunger Feed, written by Charlie McNally. The Hunger Feed is a surreal monologue exploring addiction, identity, and emotional starvation in the age of social media. Loosely inspired by Franz Kafka's A Hunger Artist, this piece reframes spiritual fasting as digital dependency, where trolling, notifications, and conflict become substance for a man who has lost everything else. Set in a liminal space beneath society, the work follows a performer whose online persona has become louder than his real voice. Through shifting lights, broken sound, and the ghost of a dead phone, we move between irony and vulnerability, performance and collapse. This is not a normal tale. This is not a morality tale. It's a requiem for the self reconstruct to be noticed, and a quiet scream from beneath the algorithm's glow. Now, the actors in this are Calum Muir, Emma Harkness, Graeme Cobb, and Gaynor Goldie. Just to clarify before we start, this play is quite descriptive, and it would be very heavy on lighting and sound. So, to give you as the audience a better idea of what that would look like and feel like, we have Gaynor, and she's going to narrate what the stage directions and stuff would be. So, put your hands together, folks, for this next play. Thank
you. Beneath a city bridge, urban, neglected, and damp. Graffiti has faded into fossilised noise. Concrete dominates. Downstage, a makeshift nest, blankets layered like old skin. A battered tin with cigarette ends, a single warped plastic spoon, a cracked phone. Above, the soft echoes of life footsteps, laughter, the low hush of traffic. Sound, the ever-present drip of water, regular, slow, and clean. Lighting, low amber spills from above like a dying streetlight. Lights up.
Once had a duvet. Now I've got something that used to be a cut or a bat. Hard to tell in this light. This spoon, Exhibit A, bent in 3 places, no known reason. Likely a cuss. The altar? Tin, cigarette ends, sacred objects of the Church of. Could be worse. Breakfast today, 3 lies, half a truth, sprinkled with dust and disappointment. Yum. My hands and feet are cold. You ever think about cheese? Proper cheese, soft, squishable, purchased deliberately by someone with a functioning debit card. They live up there, on the bridge. The fancy people with their purpose and pants that fit. One of them had hummus once. I smelled it. Garlic and financial stability. Down here, I've got the drip. My loyal companion. Drips on the hour, every hour. Sometimes it just sings. Mostly, it just judges. I figured it out though. The trick. Stay still long enough and you become furniture, bridge decor, part of the ambience. I'm not homeless, I'm vintage, off-grid, retro-like, dial-up internet or sanity.
Low amber mist intensifies. The hum of the city above softens, becomes almost conversational. Snatches of laughter, the The squeak of a pram wheel, a dog barking. Barry's world listens upward.
Funny thing about bridges, they don't creak when people cross. Not really. They hum. Low, private, like gossip between stone. Every step above is a story I'll never feature in.
He cups his hand to his ear, a faint voice above, distant, cheery.
Told you he's still down there. Go on, look.
A quick metallic rattle. A can rolls off the bridge, clatters near Barry's tin. A pause, then laughter fading into the distance.
Tourists, archaeologists of the human condition. Come for the folklore, stay for the morale.
He picks up the can, inspects it like it's evidence.
Aluminium, empty. A fine donation to the Museum of Could Be Worse.
He sits it down beside the tin, precisely, a ritual.
Used to be, I'd have lobbed it back. Sharp aim, sharper tongue. Now I just catalogue. Carbon date my dignity by what falls from above.
He sits, thumbs his dead phone, waiting for a glow that never comes.
Dead battery, dead signal, dead name if we're counting. Benefits gone, bridge rent unpaid, body buffering. But hey, still got the drip, still got the acoustics.
A faint car horn, then a woman's voice, gentle, fading.
Barry, that you?
He freezes, the hum of the bridge swells, swallowing the sound.
Must be someone else. I've been deleted, remember?
He leans back, the humour returns bitter, self-mythic.
You ever notice, up there, they live in headlines. Down here, I live in comment sections. Permanent, anonymous. I'm not homeless, I'm vintage. Off-grid, retro, like dial-up internet or sanity.
He smirks, taps the tin again, like punctuation. The world above fades.
I think someone living under your footsteps might register. A blip, a bump, and what's that smell of wet dreams and nicotine? But no, I've become lower. Local legend. Oh, that's just the troll. Don't feed him gluten. I am the troll. Bridge certified, benefits expired, Wi-Fi terminated for crimes against influencers. Being a troll's an art, you know. Not the internet kind, I mean actual, under the bridge, moss in your socks, curse your go kind. I used to thrive online. Witty, vile, sharp as a lemon in a paper cut. Told one influencer her dog looked like a sexually transmitted regret. Got banned twice. Felt like applause. You think I'll miss it? The Wi-Fi, the scrolling, the dopamine. I've got a throne now. King of condensation, Duke of damp, Lord of the leftover spoon. And no one asks, how was your weekend? Because weekends are a capitalist illusion. All time is soup now.
A sharp sound breaks the stillness, the hollow thunk of a plastic bottle hitting the concrete. A pause, then a voice from above, young, genderless, curious, echoing through the bridge.
Ho! You the troll!
Barry doesn't look up.
Depends who's asking. If it's a debt collector, I'm folklore. If it's God, I'm on a break. If it's Deliveroo, you're late.
You're the one who used to be online, right? The troll of trolls. Said that thing about the therapy dog. What was it? Looks like a cushion that gave up its dreams for a case of thrush.
Classic. Got 12,000 likes and a restraining order. Vintage me.
A shadow leans over the bridge rail. A single phone torch flickers down, haloing him.
Didn't think trolls had faces. Or legs.
Oh, we evolve. Wi-Fi goes. We sprout knees. You from upstairs, yeah? Land of hummus and optimism.
Nah, bus stop. Signal's rubbish here too.
Barry studies the light above. It shivers on him like interrogation.
You shouldn't talk to strangers under bridges. Bad for your algorithm.
Just wanted to see if you were real. They say you shout at pigeons, or bite them.
Only the deserving ones. Besides, them pigeons started it. Always looking down on people. Or is that the clouds? That cloud. That fucking cloud.
A silence. The drip punctuates it. The voice shifts, less mocking now.
So, what happened to him? The other one? Who you were online? That name you used to have. Derek something. Rains, right? Derek fucking Rains.
Barry stiffens.
He got a promotion to MIF. Company benefits include shame and unpaid rent.
Did they delete you?
You could say that. First they cancelled the man, then the heating, then the Wi-Fi. Now it's just me and the drip doing an encore.
A can rolls again, deliberately this time. Not playful. Barry picks it up.
You wanted an autograph or absolution?
Neither. Just curious if you bite.
These days I'd break a tooth. State of my teeth. No bite left, my friend.
They share an awkward laugh. Human.
I should go.
Fair.
You hungry?
Always. But not for food.
A beat, and the lights fade upwards. Footsteps crossing the bridge, retreating. Barry watches the spot where the light was.
Funny though, when someone talks back, you stop echoing for a minute. Almost feels like signal.
He glances up, half a smile, half ache, then returns to his rhythm.
Funny though, I was never the villain, just the leftover. The ghost that didn't hunt loud enough. There's a symmetry to it. You forget how to reply to messages, forget to brush the parts no one sees. And the world, it forgets you right back. Beautiful, really. Like a breakup where neither of you noticed for 6 months. No rent, no clocks, no passive-aggressive group chats. Just drip, shadow, time stretched out like chewing gum in a heat wave. I once told a man in a podcast today that his beard looked like it ran a failed kombucha startup. He cried. They used to call it truth-telling. Said I was raw, authentic. Finally, someone said it. Yeah, me, Barry Bloody Grumble, sermon in a bin bag, with signal. But here's the rub. Sympathy's a leash, and I nod through mine like a rat in a mission. You want truth, real truth, not the kind with fonts and pastel infographics. Kindness is just the knife before the fall. Soft handle, velvet grip, then snap. You land wrong, and something inside you stays snapped.
Barry leans against a graffiti-scabbed pillar. The light has shifted, not golden, but bruised.
There was this girl once, before I got big. Before the trolls and the clicks and the daily roast. She made me tea in a chip Doctor Who mug. Called me Calum. Can you imagine? Me? I posted her poetry one night, didn't ask. Called it cringe. 10,000 likes of second-hand embarrassment. She deleted everything. Even me. You ever wish you could unbecome something?
A faint shimmer of light, not warm, but remembered. A soft blue glow seeps from upstage. The drip doubles, becomes a rhythm. Heart beats slow. The blue glow forms her outline.
She said I looked tired, but trying. Can you imagine? Me trying?
He half laughs. The light breathes, and the girl steps forward, calm, composed, but blurred at the edges, like she's made of old pixels.
You were late. Twice. Then very early. Then never.
I'd nowhere else to be.
You kept talking. About truth. About injustice. About everyone being cruel.
Then What? Ah, I just held the mirror.
You called it honesty. It was hunger.
Barry shrugs.
I was performance art. Every insult I versed, every post applause. You should have seen the metrics.
I saw the man behind the glare, hands shaking when the lights stopped climbing.
It's just caffeine and injustice.
You posted my poem without asking.
Public domain of heartbreak. That one should have thanked me. Gave it reach.
You called it cringe.
Beat. Her tone hardens slightly.
10,000 strangers laughed. I deleted everything. You said it was a social experiment.
It went viral. That's art, innit? A little wound that trends. You could have leaned it that very soon.
You wanted noise, not truth. You didn't even taste the tea I made you.
Too sweet. Couldn't stomach your kindness. Bad for my brand.
She studies him. The drip slows. Pause hangs heavy.
You think if you're cruel first, no one can break you. But you broke both of us.
Barry looks up. Anger flickers, then fades to something smaller.
You've never seen me as human. That's on you.
I did look, and I still do.
He sinks back into his spot, blanket round him. The light from her presence lingers a moment longer than it should. Then it dies, leaving only the bridge and the drip.
So I stopped telling stories, started pulling wings off butterflies. Metaphorically, of course. I haven't seen a butterfly in years. But online, oh, I soared. I was a menace with a Wi-Fi connection and a moral void. Didn't need a job, had a following, a cult of chaos. And then came him, the alter ego, the upgrade, the algorithm's wet dream. Derek, devil's advocate reigns. Truth surgeon, keyboard warlord, blocked by 6 royal accounts and counting. Welcome to the apocalypse of attention, where feelings go to die. And I get retweets for the funeral. Is this satire? Isn't everything now? If they can't tell if you're joking, you've already won. I was liked, feared, quote tweeted into legend. Each post a tiny guillotine, each reply a sermon with teeth. I didn't offer hope, I served truth, deep fried in irony, sprinkled with self-loathing, delivered by drove. Every click a confession, every post a purge, every block a blessing. Your face looks like a glitch in the empathy matrix. Click. Hope your oat milk curdles during your therapy. Click. Block me and I win. Click. Ads open. Nectar of the emotionally stunted. I used to chase likes like they owed me rent. I even sold merch. Gaslight, gatekeep, get cancelled. Printed on recycled trauma. Sold free. 2 to myself, 1 to Piers Morgan. Charity work. People didn't want healing, they wanted blood. And I gave it to them. Eloquent, savage, smell checked. Too far! Ratio! Seek help! Yeah, thanks for the engagement, babes. But here's the funny part. I wasn't trying to win. I wasn't trying to be heard. And when you're screaming at a feed full of filters, you either get louder or you vanish. I got loud. I once went viral, properly viral, because I insulted a grieving man's Comic Sans tribute. Said it was a failure of both design and evolution. Got 1,000 likes. Saved it, printed it. That's art, apparently. Then one day, silence. No Wi-Fi, no mentions, no keyboard, just me and the drip. I remember staring at my phone like it owed me an apology. Like maybe the algorithm was just having a nap. I held it like it might light up again. Like maybe I was shadow banned by the universe. Turns out, I'd just been deleted. No warning, no push notification, no, we regret to inform you. Just one bar, then none, then cold. In the silence, it wasn't peaceful, it was hungry. Not even trolls echo without signal. No food, no rollies, no rage-fueled inbox. Just me, a dead phone, and a drip that sounds suspiciously like it's judging me. Still did it. Every morning, phone in hand, nothing on screen, muscle memory, like some sad little ritual. One time, I stood outside a cafe for 2 hours, trying to steal their Wi-Fi, pretend to smoke a cigarette that didn't exist. Just hoping the internet gods would smile down and say, Barry, we missed your emotional damage. They didn't. They were inside drinking flat whites, posting about mental health while stepping over night. I called one of them a fascist for not holding the door. She didn't even flinch. Imagine being so irrelevant your insults don't land anymore. I kept going. Same rhythm. Wake up, swipe goes phone, argue with no one. You ever miss the buzz? The pin? The little sound that says, you exist, just not in a useful way. I do. I used to think I was above it. All the fake smiles, influencer apologies, motivational sludge wrapped in bubble fonts. As if hashtags can hold you when your toes go numb. But the joke's on me. I wasn't above it. I was hooked. Every like, every retweet, every fight with someone named Ashley who called me toxic but valid. I ate them like crisps. Rage is cheaper than love, and it doesn't go stale. And now I'm starving. Turns out when you build yourself around a signal, and that signal stops coming, you don't feel sad. You feel missing. Like a notification's supposed to be there, and it isn't. That's the real loss. Not the food, not the followers. It's the absence of outrage.
Harsh white light, like a login screen opening. The bridge hums static. A shadow figure steps forward. A clipboard's glowing faintly. Their face is unreadable. This is the mod.
Barry Grumble. Former handle, Derek Rains. Aliad, at Devil's Advocate, 88. Do you confirm?
That depends. Let me ask you. You interested more in taxis or theology?
State of account review. 1 bar of service remains. This is your compliance interview.
Figures. Waiting rooms. It's all one big fucking waiting room.
You were deleted for persistent breaches of conduct, harassment, unlawful optimism, posting while destitute.
Crime of this century stuff. Lock me up for intent to feel something.
Please answer sincerely. Failure to provide authenticity may affect your benefit entitlement.
Authenticity is expensive. You got anything cheaper? What's your cheapest?
State your reason for appeal.
Barry hesitates, shrugs.
Are you actively seeking redemption?
Define actively.
At least 5 verifiable attempts per week. Attach documentation.
Barry laughs, dry.
You want proof of remorse? Fine. Here's a dead phone. Here's a tin that echoes back. Here's my postcode under a fucking bridge. Here's my sin, weak-willed, sheltered, mental health issues, serious issues, abandonment, trauma, repetition.
The mod taps on their tablet. The sound of typing echoes like rainfall. The mod flickers, glitches, logs out. Lights fade to amber. The hum returns.
You ever notice how bridges hum? Not when they're full. Not during the stampede of calendars and caffeine. No. after, when it's quiet, when the world forgets them. That's when they remember what they're for, holding things together, even when there's nothing left to carry. I used to say I was a troll, snapping at ankles, waiting to be fed or feared. But maybe I wasn't the monster. Maybe I was just the echo, the thing that lingers after the noise moves on. Used to light up like a holy object. Now it's just plastic. A tombstone for a voice no one's listening for. Like it might wake someone or bury something. Turns out monsters just want to be seen, even if it's by a drip, even if it's just once. Sometimes I still hear it, the buzz, the ping, like a ghost with a ringtone. Makes my thumb twitch. Like maybe the universe remembered me, or accidentally butt dialed my soul. I used to scroll to feel something. Now I feel something, want to scroll. Which is worse, probably. Sometimes I think, what if someone's still watching? Somewhere. Some sad little mod with a clipboard and a god complex. To you, if you're there, yes, I know I violated the community guidelines. Yes, I said the unsayable. Yes, I made enemies of people with teeth whiter than their morals. And yes, I'd probably do it again. But I'm tired now. So if there's a feed left, a single thread in the whole damn algorithm, let it show this. Barry Grumble, Bridge resident, Troll emeritus, still here, still hungry, and still waiting for the drip.
Sound. One last drop, then silence.
Round of applause again there for the guys. Thank you very much. I'm just going to take a 10-minute interval in a wee second, but before we do, I'm going to ask the writers to come up stage, just so you can get a name to the face, and then during the interval, feel free to come up to them and give them some comments on their play. Please keep your comments nice. And yeah, so can I have Julie up first, please? And Isabella, please. And Raleigh's still here. So Julie was the first player, that was 20 foot by 20 foot. And then Isabella was Sir Plumes, and Charlie was the hunger feed there.